Is it because of his girlfriend's like
No.
a quarter of his age?
No.
No, that should be better now.
Yeah. Okay. Making sure mine's good too.
Austin,
Caleb,
how you doing today?
I'm cold, tired, and ready for the weekend. How about you?
Oh, exact same. It is freezing, but this cold snap is almost over.
Yeah. I mean, it actually hasn't. It's weird to say that, like, negative 20 wind chill is actually like warm compared to.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
When it reaches down to where Celsius and Fahrenheit meet,
yeah,
you know it's cold.
it's cold.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. For you visual listeners here, you may notice something.
Yeah.
Austin, you want to do a double high five?
Look, man, no hands.
Yep, double high five because we both have mic stands now.
We can podcast with no handlebars.
I forgot about that song. Oh my gosh, that unlocked like a memory of like me, like maybe like 10 years old or something, just like listening to that song on my crappy laptop.
The memory that comes to mind is probably the last time I heard it on the radio going down University Avenue.
Oh,
That's there. I could see like the trees.
how long ago was that, you think?
Probably right around the last time you heard it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
We have dual mic arms.
yes, dual mic arm stands, and we are gonna get maybe a little more use out of the visual stuff now.
Yeah, perhaps it's possible.
Uh
Have to start bringing props.
yeah, exactly. But hey, episode 21.
21.
Oh.
Yes, it was weird because neither of us wrote notes for the last episode.
Nope, it's episode B&B.
Episode B&B, episode 20. Didn't write notes, so I had to remind myself I have like a blank. It goes from 19 to 21 in my notes.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I write mine with my topic. I didn't do that today because then you can see my topic before I see it if I'm holding up my notes.
There you go.
So yeah. Well, this is Balls and Blasters.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Episode 21.
Woo!
Woohoo!
This episode will probably be double uploaded with episode 20, so you guys won't have none of the learning, or no week where there's no learning.
Right. So that kind of is weird to think about us as, in a way, a learning podcast.
Kind of. We're teaching. We're teachers.
We're teachers.
In each other's retrospective. My mouth is really dry, so I'm going to do this right now.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm technically not supposed to have this.
Now that you do that, did you do that last episode?
Mm-mm.
God.
I've been trying to drink less and less caffeine after like 6.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Yeah, like not right before bed, but today I forgot my water bottle downstairs, and we're already rushing. So
Fair enough.
we're rushing to get started, I guess.
Understandable. What flavor is that?
It's blackberry. It's
Interesting.
so good.
Oof. I don't know. Blackberry is not my style.
See, I like blackberries just in general.
Uh-huh.
So
I feel like it mixes well with the natural flavor of Dr. Pepper.
it really does actually. Like strawberries and cream, it's pretty good.
Mm.
This is insane.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, welcome back. We're back to regularly scheduled programming.
Yes,
Amongst the Balls and Blasters.
Yes, we've got back into our groove. Season 2 is going strong. 2 episodes that are uploaded back to back pretty much, and now you'll get these 2 hopefully uploaded back to back as well, within the same week for sure.
And it seemed like those 2 episodes were doing
well
somewhat
received.
decent. Yes. So thank you very much. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for... There's a little hiatus there just because it is what it is.
Life.
But
Stuff to do.
We appreciate y'all. But we're back full force in action with a normal Balls and Blasters episode. We're excited. Although I will say, Caleb and I talked about a little bit during the last week that I thought trial 1 of B&B went pretty well.
I would say so as well. I really enjoyed just the the free flowing combos.
I'm interested to see when that gets uploaded. I'm interested to hear feedback from all of our friends, family, and fans to see what they think about it.
Definitely.
Can't wait for them to completely pick apart everything that went wrong.
You're be like, you guys are stupid and we hate you. That's what it's gonna be like.
Oh boy! All right, Caleb. I suppose. Do we need to explain what we do?
A little quick synopsis. We're balls and blasters. Here we teach each other about our respective genres, topics. I am the blaster side. I almost said I was the ball side. No, I'm the blaster side. So I teach Austin about all nerdy topics. And Austin, what do you do?
I'm the ball side. I teach Mr. Caleb over here about sports and topics there within. Usually funnels down either a historical aspect or a deep dive. But the goal is to bring an interesting topic to hopefully teach not only each other, but the viewer at home or the listener at home. Something new, something interesting, something fun, using your casual conversation.
Exactly. So, and we start every episode with a rock, paper, scissors match. Austin, shall we do a rock, paper, scissors match?
We shall. We did do, even for our trial of B&B, we did do rock, paper, scissors. It's just at the very end.
Yes. All right. Austin, you are leading right now 15-5.
It is a rather stark difference.
This would be an insane stat if you were in like anything. Oh, excuse me. All right. So, on shoot?
On shoot, we
All
shall.
Right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No! I almost went rock, dude.
Oh, my God. For the listeners at home, I won again.
That is, you're over. I have less than a quarter of wins now.
I am now up 16-5. I don't want to move the mic stand, so I'll adjust it after the episode is over. But yes, it's funny. I win so much. If nobody knew the difference and they just like skipped ahead to the part where we start talking about our topics, they'd think, "Oh, Austin always goes first."
Yeah, they would. And it makes me really mad. I was thinking about that today. I was like, "Wow, it should just be you go first," because I went first 5 times. 5.
I'm on a win streak too, which is funny. All right,
let's hear what do your stupid balls I have to say today?
Up in the rotation today, I have a football topic.
Ooh.
We're back to football.
I know football.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Tom Brady.
Correct.
I've been watching Traders lately, and there's that one football player who he was on The Bachelor, and then he came out as gay after The Bachelor.
Oh,
and he's on it. His name's Colton. I don't know his last name though.
Gosh, that sounds familiar, but I honestly can't pull the name off the top of my head.
And I hate him on the show, just like everybody does.
Understandable. Was he a playa?
He was. It's called Traders, and like you're supposed to like figure out like the traders. It's like basically Among Us. Just think about it like Among Us.
I got it.
And then like you vote people out and stuff, and he's just like throwing out names and getting them wrong, and then yelling at people for like yelling at him for getting them wrong. It's like you got him wrong though. He's not a traitor. He's not a imposter.
So he's just stupid.
He pretty much. He's like blah blah. My poor Ron. Anyways, football.
Woo! Before we get started, I do have to say a heartfelt rest in peace to my red pen.
It's gone.
She has passed away. The red pen is no more. Very early on into my topic, I had to switch to blue because I was next in line.
I saw that. I was like, wow, we must be getting down to like.
Yeah, so it's every like 10 episodes that the ink goes dry. I do. I'm gonna have a rainbow colored notebook by the time we're done.
You know, it really. I love that it's right in the middle.
It seriously is. It's right in the middle of one of my first notes. I suppose for the
holy
visual listeners, watchers, you can see there.
I will also say I don't think I've ever had a pen long enough for it to run out of ink. That's just me losing them though.
Yeah, it could be losing. Even in college, I never really, because I always just had black pens. But I would, if I ever did run out of ink, it would just be another black pen. Yeah. I never color coded because I was not anywhere near that organized. It is Interesting, though, that I ran out of red ink and I had to switch to the next pen in line, which just happened to be blue, because red and blue happen to be the main colors of the team that we're talking about today, Caleb. Not America. Correct. Yes, it is those colors.
Am I wrong?
Cuba.
Talking about Cuba?
No. I was just naming flags with red and blue on them.
The UK.
The UK. Yeah, that's correct. Today, Caleb, we are going
Australia.
The Philippines. Are the Philippines?
I will stop distracting you. Let's get into this.
Mr. Worldwide over here. Today, Caleb, we are going to talk about the greatest NFL dynasty that never was.
That never was.
The greatest NFL dynasty that never was.
Oh, it's the Texans.
No.
Oh, dang it.
I think this will be a new one for you. I'm not sure you've heard about this. Maybe, but for those that are football knowledgeable, you might know where I'm going with this. A football dynasty that ever was, red and blue. Caleb, today we are going to talk about the early 90s Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I've heard of the Buffalo Bills. Are they still a team now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know who Josh Allen is?
Oh, yeah, I do know Josh Allen. Yeah, I do.
Buffalo Bills quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know he was that.
Yeah.
This is how much up to date I am with football. I know that Bad Buddy's playing at the Super Bowl.
That's
true. That's about as much as I got right now.
At least you know something.
Yeah.
So, Caleb, we're gonna talk about. I was gonna do a Super Bowl related topic, but I decided, Well, I was thinking about Super Bowls, and I was like, well, that would be kind of plain Jane. And then I was
When
like,
is
let's
the Super Bowl?
a couple weeks.
Okay.
I was like, let's get, instead of talking about a dynasty and fun things, let's depress all the Buffalo Bills fans out there.
I like it.
So let's get started. Enough rambling. Essentially, we're going to talk about how this almost dynasty came to be, talk about the almost dynasty, and then the aftermath of it. That's kind of the layout we got going on here today. So, quick background. We have two starts back in 1980. Leading up to these almost dynastic years. In 1980, 1981.
Great songs. That era.
Yes. ADHD is working overtime here.
I did not take my pills. Man. It's been rough.
I should let's start with a broad background. The Bills kind of have a tortured history. They go through spurts of winning a decent bit and then losing a lot, and then winning a little bit and then losing a lot. So we're going to get a taste of that here. 1980, 1981. These Buffalo Bills teams, they made back-to-back playoff appearances, but they were never serious contenders. They won their division once. They had one playoff win in these years. This team was led by Chuck Knox, who is more famous for his role as a Seahawks head coach. He's in their Seahawks Ring of Honor. So he's not famous for the Bills, but he was a decent coach. 1982, there was a strike-shortened season. No, not just in baseball do strikes happen, but 1982, there was a strike-shortened NFL season. The Bills came back down to earth. They weren't that good. They went 4-5. They missed the playoffs. But this is important because the ensuing 1983 NFL draft, because they played so poorly in a strike-shortened season, the Bills would select quarterback Jim Kelly.
I think I've heard of Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly. He was supposed to be their quarterback of the future. Unfortunately, Mr. Kelly decided to not play for the Buffalo Bills and instead go to play in the upstart United States Football League.
Oh, so that was like the failed one.
Yes. So there's been a couple different iterations of leagues opposed to the NFL. The AFL being the most popular.
But then they merged, right?
Correct.
Yeah, all this knowledge, I'm remembering stuff.
Yes, the AFL and the NFL merged, which is why basically the year that they merged is the year the Super Bowl was born. And I think the Bills were an AFL team. Don't quote me on that. Maybe, I think. But either way, the USFL came along as another alternative to the NFL. Jim Kelly decided he wanted to go to that league instead of playing for the NFL, for the Buffalo Bills. We'll have a quote later on that kind of describes this feeling here, but playing for the Buffalo Bills has never really been a desired thing because of the typical losing or never really winning enough.
Well, I feel like already I'm like, I question, are they still even a team right now? I feel like that's already bad.
It's already bad. And this is actually, it's funny because the Bills right now are the most relevant they've been since what I'm talking about.
Oh, really?
Right now.
Because of Josh Allen?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, who got fired. Different story. The only thing with the USFL is it lasted for 3 years.
Not a very long time.
No, it folded pretty quickly. I say this as a lead up because of the USFL folding, the Bills were big benefactors of this. In 1984 and 1985, Chuck Knox, the coach we just talked about, he leaves to go to Seattle where he has much more success. And their Pro Bowl running back, Joe Cribbs, left for the USFL ahead of the 1984 season. So it's like the Bills they had those 2 random playoff appearances. They didn't do anything with them. Now they're just right back down in the toilet. Things are not going very good for them. They lose their coach. They lose their best player. The Bills go 2-14 in both 1984 and 1985.
Back to back, 2-14. It's gonna suck to be the people that lost them.
Right. Yes. They were not a good football team. And it got so bad, again, this is a team with kind of a tortured history, that attendance in their stadium, it was called Rich Stadium at the time, seats 70,000, and attendance for games averaged below 30,000.
So not even half.
Right. So things are not going in the right direction. There's even a point in time where I think one of the owners pitched a trade to switch ownership of teams, which I guess was something that could have been allowed back then. I doubt that would work today, but a little fun fact. So 2-14 in 84 and 85, and no attendance. Here's the quote I was asking about. Steve Tasker, who is a Bills special teams legend. So he was technically like a receiver tight end, but he played mostly on punt coverage, punt return, like things, kickoff, things like that.
Not the main.
But he was very good at his job, and the Bills fans love him. He's in their Ring of Honor. Steve Tasker, he's quoted saying, "Being acquired by Buffalo was akin to being sentenced to prison in Siberia."
Just like, you're gone.
Which is, of course,
middle of Russia,
referencing the cold weather of Buffalo, the poor area to be in. Not a good place to be. So 1986, as I had mentioned, the United States Football League folds and the Bills become big benefactors. They acquire a new GM by the name of Bill Polian.
Oh, Bill roams the Bills?
Bill roams the Bills. Marv Levy becomes their head coach halfway through the upcoming season. He was coaching in the USFL before this. And remember Jim Kelly, how he chose the USFL? He comes back.
It's like, hey, guys, sorry about that.
My bad, pimp.
It's like, hey, you guys were right.
Jim Kelly finally becomes their quarterback. And they also get a guy by the name of Kent Hull, who becomes the center to their offensive line for many years. So they get a GM, a head coach, quarterback, and a offensive lineman as like kind of their core because the USFL folds. And all these names, Caleb, we could go on and on individually about the names. Just know that to the Bills and to the NFL history are important. A lot of the player names I mention are like Buffalo Bills Ring of Honor, and a couple are even in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So I'm not mentioning just randoms. These guys are like
important.
So Marv Levy, head coach, Bill Polian, GM, decided they wanted to center their team around the passing game, and Jim Kelly, who is a very good quarterback, and Andre Reed, who is a very good wide receiver. He was a third-round draft pick amongst this regime. And then the very first pick of the Marv Levy, Bill Polian era was defensive end Bruce Smith. He would be their anchor of the defense for many years to come. He's a Hall of Famer. They kept veteran O-lineman Kent Hull, And they also drafted Jim Richter, they kept Hall and Jim Richter. Then they drafted Will Walford and Howard Ballard. This is their entire offensive line. So they're trying to protect the quarterback. They have the quarterback and they have the receiver to make it happen. Mm-hmm. This is kind of their game plan. This is who the Buffalo Bills are going to become. This is why they become so successful.
So kind of it's almost like a all or nothing type of strategy.
It very much is. Right. Yes. 1988, the Buffalo Bills would draft running back Thurman Thomas, NFL Hall of Famer, another offensive player. And the Bills would go 12-4. They'd win the AFC East, their first of 4 straight AFC East titles, and they'd make the AFC Championship game, won the game right before the Super Bowl, but they would lose to the Bengals. So let's quick recap. Kind of a whatever history to this point. The USFL folds, and because of that, the Bills get a bunch of players and a coach and a GM that draft very well. Now, 1988 rolls around, and all of a sudden, here come the Bills. Look at us. We're doing pretty good for ourselves. The future is looking very bright.
Hey, guys, I know we've had a couple of tortured past years. We're looking great now.
It's all going to change, baby. It's all going to change. 1989, back down to earth. Buffalo Bills at their finest. 1989, they go 9-7, so not bad, but not what they had hoped. They still win the AFC East, which means they make the playoffs. It was a down year for that division. But they would lose to the Cleveland Browns in the divisional round. The Bills, in many of their playoff woes, almost won this game despite being the underdog. There was a last-second TD pass from Jim Kelly to Ronnie Harmon in the corner of the end zone, but Harmon dropped it with seconds to go. Ronnie Harmon, that was the last ever play for the Buffalo Bills he ever had. They got him out very swiftly.
Was he just like bad all around, or was he like that was just like one mistake?
I think he was fine. It's just kind of circumstance. Oh. But it is kind of iconic in a way that his last play for the Bills was him messing up a playoff game for the Bills. This 1989 version of Buffalo were known as the Bickering Bills because there's a lot of infighting amongst the coaching staff and the players. Yeah, it was not a good season for them. But they would figure it out, Caleb.
Would they?
They would figure it out. That's our little background. Now let's get to the good years. Kind of. Depending on how you feel about it. Bills in the bowl, baby.
Bills in the bowl.
Caleb, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 straight years we have to talk about here about some pretty good success with some heartbreaking finishes. 1990, Buffalo Bills switched to a no-huddle offense, placing Jim Kelly in the shotgun formation. Caleb, you know what the shotgun formation is,
where it's basically you have the center flings it back
yes,
to the quarterback.
The style of the time was under center, meaning the quarterback is hunched right underneath his center's butt, and that's where he gets the snap. He has to turn around to hand the ball off to the running back or fake a pass, whatever. Now, the Buffalo Bills decided, let's put Jim Kelly in the shotgun to give him more opportunity to read the offense and pass the football.
If I remember correctly, the risk of the shotgun is the center is essentially passing it to the quarterback.
Right. And you have to have a center that knows how to snap the football. Very important. This became kind of a famous offense. It was called the K package, but not, I believe it was the K package, but not from Jim Kelly. Their tight end had the last name by the name of K, and he was very important to this offense as well. But they became the high-flying Bills, Caleb, because in 1990, they scored 428 points on the season, which was the most in the league, which their offense led them to a 13-3 record. They won the AFC East, won their division, and they beat the Dolphins 44-34 in their first playoff matchup. So high-flying, points. And then, Caleb, they have to play the or I think they're the Los Angeles Raiders at this time, and they smoke them 51-3 to make it to the Super Bowl.
So they're riding high.
They're riding high. They are big time, and the Bills are back, and they're going to do the dang thing. The Bills were even a favorite in the Super Bowl against the New York Giants.
Oh, so it was a New York Super Bowl.
All New York Super Bowl.
That's cool.
This New York Giants team, for reference, because it's relevant to news within the last 24 hours of recording this podcast, was led by Bill Parcells, legendary coach, and defensive coordinator Bill Belichick.
Oh.
Heard of him?
I have heard of Bill Belichick. Wait, he was also running the Bills?
No, he was on the Giants.
Oh, he's on the Giants. Okay.
Yes. He was their defensive coordinator for the Giants.
Bill versus Bill.
Bill versus Bill. This is a legendary game in the history of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, of course, became more famous as the Patriots head coach. He was Belichick, I believe, has 2 Super Bowls as an assistant and 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. So 8 Super Bowls, most all time. He was just denied Hall of Fame induction.
Is it because of his girlfriend's
No.
like a quarter of his age?
No, has nothing to do with that.
That's the only thing I know about him.
A lot of people think it's because of the guy's team that he beat. So Bill Polian is the GM of the Buffalo Bills, and he would put together many teams that would mostly be unsuccessful against Bill Belichick-led teams.
Oh, so it's just like drama?
And it's beef, and Bill Polian, I believe, has a Hall of Fame vote, Hall of Fame poll, and is trying to get back at his old foe.
Say a guy who won 8 Super Bowls though?
Yeah.
And you're saying no?
Right.
That's kind of crazy.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole different conversation. We got off track. Let's get back. 1990 Super Bowl. Bills favored over the Giants. The Giants being led by Bill Belichick, or by Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. A lot of Bills here.
Yeah. Holy crap. This was the Bill episode.
Remember that high flying offense I told you about, Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick put together a game plan so legendary to stifle this Bills offense that it's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's in the Hall of Fame. Not Bill Belichick, though.
Not Bill. Bills were stifled most of the game. But they had the ball with 8 seconds left, and they were down 20-19. Scott Norwood comes on to kick a game-winning field goal, and the game-winning field goal for those Buffalo Bills sails wide right by less than a yard.
Really?
Basically grazed.
Was it windy?
I don't know. So, yeah, much the same way that for us Vikings fans, Gary Anderson, wide right, missing a kick to send the Vikings to the Super Bowl. Scott Norwood, wide right, very painful for Buffalo Bills fans.
That's going to be terrible for be the kicker. You're like, oh.
Super Bowl over, Bills fall to the Giants 2019. But it's fine, Caleb, because 1991 rolls around and the Bills once again are back, baby.
They're here.
They go 13-3 again. They win the AFC East again for the 4th straight time. Boom, bang, pow. We're back in the playoffs. Running back Thurman Thomas wins an MVP. He's the Offensive Player of the Year. Not only do they have a great passing attack, now the running game is going. So the offense is just unstoppable. The Bills smoked the Chiefs in their first playoff matchup of 91, 37-14. And they just squeaked by the Broncos 10-7 the next week to reach their 2nd straight Super Bowl.
Oh, dang. So, hey, this is their year.
Yeah.
This is their year.
They're back, baby.
I can't see how this is going to go wrong.
No. Oh, oops, sorry, I hit the microphone there. The Super Bowl did not start out hot for the Bills. Star running back, MVP running back Thurman Thomas would lose his helmet before the game started and miss the first couple plays, which would, because the result of the game, make him and the Bills kind of the butt end of a lot of funny jokes in the media.
How do you lose his helmet?
It's a good question, Caleb. So, Thurman Thomas missed the first couple plays, sets the tone. The Washington Redskins, who are now the Washington Commanders, would take a 17-0 lead into halftime of the Super Bowl, and they would cruise to a 37-24 W over those Buffalo Bills. So, a double-digit loss in the Super Bowl. After being only 1 point away the year prior, they don't put together a good performance in the Super Bowl this year. sad. Lose back-to-back Super Bowls. That's pretty tough.
Hey, you made it to the Super Bowl though. That's something.
Did make it to the Super Bowl. I did mention that. Okay. So, but it's okay, Caleb, because 1992 comes around.
Hey, you said 4 years, and we're only on the third year.
We're only on the third year. The Bills are back, but they didn't win their division this year, unfortunately. They didn't win their division. The Bills lost the AFC East title to the Miami Dolphins. They played 2 pretty good games that year, but they still made the playoffs as a wild card team. Okay. So they're the top. I think there was only 2 wild card teams per conference. So they were one of the wild card teams. Only problem, they just made back-to-back Super Bowls. They played a lot of games. Jim Kelly, in the last game of the 1992 season, star quarterback, gets hurt. Oh no, he gets hurt. That's not what we need. Not one running K formation. The high-flying Bills, Jim Kelly. We need Jim Kelly.
An all or nothing deal.
And Caleb, they felt this one badly because in the first game of the playoffs, backup Frank Reich, who's former NFL coach, current NFL coach, had to come in and be the new Jim Kelly for the Buffalo Bills. And they had to play the Houston Oilers in the first round, back when the Houston Oilers existed. And but early into the third quarter, the Houston Oilers had built a commanding 35-3 lead over the Buffalo Bills.
It's not looking good for the Buffalo Bills.
Frank Reich just isn't cutting it. The Bills aren't the same. Until, in Bills lore, Bills fandom, the comeback happens. And the Bills would rally to send the game to overtime and eventually win 41-38 in overtime.
That's crazy.
It was this 32-point comeback was the largest comeback in NFL history of regular season or postseason up until 2022. Dang. 32 points in the playoffs.
And so that's like, what's his name? Frank Reich?
Mm-hmm.
And is he like their star quarterback now?
Well, he sure looked like it at the time. I believe, I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure Jim Kelly came back for the next playoff game. So yeah, crazy comeback, but greatest comeback of all time, points wise, until 2022, which is actually the Vikings coming back against the Colts. That was a regular season game though. It was awesome. It was awesome as a Vikings fan, but it didn't mean anything. Yeah. This was much more important. Second round, the Bills would roll the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-3, and they would face off in the AFC Championship against those Miami Dolphins, who they lost a division to, and they would upset the favored Dolphins 29-10. They gave it right back to them. The Bills are going back to their third straight Super Bowl.
Yes. It's got to be this time. It's got to be it.
This is the year, baby. The Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. If you know, you know. Shout out Chris Berman. The Bills would meet the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I know them.
Yes.
Tony Romo.
Correct. Once upon a time. They would meet the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl in 1992. Led by Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith, Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman, Hall of Fame running back Emmitt Smith.
Tom Landry. No, not Tom Landry.
Tom Landry. I'm trying to think. Was he the Giants?
He's a coach.
He's a coach somewhere. I don't remember where he coached.
All I know is King of the Hill. He's from Texas. I know that.
Oh, fair. Maybe he was on the Cowboys at once. I don't know. That's before our time. Yeah, Caleb. Third straight Super Bowl. A little bit. Not really a Cinderella run, but, like, hey, happy to be here kind of thing, because the Cowboys just did not like Buffalo. They beat them 52-17 in this Super Bowl. The Bills committed a still to this day Super Bowl record 9 turnovers. That's not going to win you any football games.
Mm-mm.
And not only did the Bills become the first team in NFL history to go to 3 straight Super Bowls, they became the first team and only team in NFL history to lose 3 straight Super Bowls.
Then that has not been beaten or even come close to.
No, not the right kind of history to be on, Caleb. It's really, really unfortunate for all those Buffalo Bills fans out there. But, Caleb, 1993.
It's our year.
The Bills are back. The Bills are so back, baby. This is it. Here we go. I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah, we're making good time. 1993. Caleb, Jim Kelly's back in action. He's healthy.
He's healthy. He's here, and he's had a lot of experience.
And the Bills go 12-4 and reclaim the AFC East, baby.
Look at that.
This is it. Right back to normal.
It's our year. It's our year.
It's our year, baby. Let's go, Bills. Circle those wagons. I got to stop hitting the mic with my hat. Sorry, people at home. They would beat the Raiders and the Chiefs in their first playoff encounters to once again get to their fourth consecutive Super Bowl, Caleb. This is unprecedented.
Has anybody ever been to 4 Super Bowls?
They're the only team to ever do it.
Even currently?
Even currently. The only team ever to make 4 consecutive Super Bowls. Quite the great feat. You got to be pretty successful to make 4 straight Super Bowls.
I will say, if I was that 4th team, and like the other team besides the Bills, I'd be like, thank God it's the Buffalo Bills.
So if you're on the Bills, that is a lot of pressure. Yeah. A lot of pressure. The only team to ever accomplish the feat of 4 consecutive Super Bowls. This was also the first ever consecutive matchups in Super Bowl history. Rematch, because the Bills would once again face the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
It was the first time that 2 teams had bet back-to-back in the Super Bowl. So that's also a neat caveat of this Super Bowl.
They're just collecting titles like that.
Just collecting records, and tell you what, not the good kind. Super Bowl number 4 in a row, rematch against the Cowboys. The Bills were poised to break through, Caleb. Poised. At halftime, the Bills were leading 13-6.
Hey, that's not bad.
Just last year, they were getting housed by this same Dallas Cowboys team. Now they have the advantage, 13-6. However, Thurman Thomas, Bills Pro Bowl All-Pro running back, would fumble in the third. This fumble was returned for a touchdown by safety James Washington. This tied the game at 13-13.
Not good.
Not good. And as good as Thurman Thomas was, Emmitt Smith, running back of the Dallas Cowboys, was just a little bit better. So much better in that sense that he took over the game, completely turned the tide, and the Bills would not score again after halftime. And the Cowboys would run away with a 30-13 Super Bowl win.
I thought this was our year.
The Bills would lose their 4th consecutive Super Bowl. Once again.
A record.
A record. That is never going to be matched. I can't even fathom. I don't even want to know what it was like to be a fan in Buffalo at that time. And I know pain as a Vikings fan, okay? The Vikings haven't even made a damn Super Bowl in decades.
Yeah. Hey, we have 4 losses. I know we have 4 losses, though.
We have 4 losses just like the Bills, but they're not consecutive.
No.
They were I think they're all within 10 or 15 years of each other, but not in a row. So the Vikings have that. Woo!
At least we're not the Bills.
So we had the background. We had the Super Bowl years. Now we got to talk about the aftermath. And Caleb, we're kind of just back to the same old Bills at this point. Back to the same old Bills. The end of the best era in franchise history. 1994 was very unkind to the Bills. They would go 7-9, 4th in their division. They'd miss the playoffs. Wasn't good. 1995, there was an expansion team by the name of the Carolina Panthers, and they would steal several key players, backups, and starters of the like from the Buffalo Bills, so they drained their roster a little bit. However, the Bills showed some pretty good resolve, and they rebounded to make the playoffs at 10-6. Pretty decent season. They'd beat the Dolphins in the first round, but they would get waxed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, 40-21. They were not poised to make another Super Bowl or another AFC Championship game. 1996, the Bills seemed like, again, here we go again, putting a good season together. We're leading the AFC East, but they would choke down the stretch and they'd lose it to the New England Patriots. Bills still made the playoffs, and they would be the home wildcard team, and they would be the host to the upstart Jacksonville Jaguars, who were 9-7 that year, and really surprised because the Jags were bad the year before, and they kind of surprised everybody with the winning season. And they somehow made the playoffs as the road wildcard team. Well, those Cinderella Jags would roll into Rich Stadium, now these days known as Highmark Stadium, and they would upset the Buffalo Bills in the first round of the playoffs, 30-27.
Oh, so a close one.
It was a close one. This, Caleb, this 1996 bout against the Jags was the first time the Buffalo Bills had ever been beaten at home in that stadium's history.
Really? That I did not know. That's crazy. So they're like loss years. They just didn't play at home a lot.
Pretty much.
Oh.
Yes. So, again, just kind of continuing. It's almost like delaying the inevitable. We had the great years of the Super Bowls that we couldn't win, and now we're trying to hold on, but it's so obvious that it's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to be done, Caleb. It's time to be done. After
Take him out back.
Take him out back. After 1996, management of the Bills wanted to go in a different direction at quarterback. They wanted Jim Kelly to mentor a young guy, come in there, take the reins. Jim Kelly said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home," and retired after 1996. Thurman Thomas, their stud running back, was replaced by Antoine Smith. Antoine Smith had a couple decent seasons for the Bills, but as is most things, he would leave and go be more famous as...
He sounds very familiar.
I guess I don't know why.
I don't know.
For the football aware, Antoine Smith would become more famous as a two-time Super Bowl champion starting running back for the New England Patriots, a division rival of the Buffalo Bills. Twist the knife home on that one. 1997, the Bills would finish 6-10, and their coach, the most successful, the most legendary coach in Bills history, Marv Levy, was fired.
Doesn't have the sauce anymore.
Just don't got it anymore. Sorry, Marv. You had your chance. See you never. 1998, 1999, the Bills would shockingly, despite QB controversy all up and down, they would actually make the playoffs in 1998, 1999, but nobody took them seriously, and as the Bills do, they would lose those games in the playoffs anyway.
Of course. Of course.
And Caleb, this 1999 playoff appearance was the last playoff appearance for the Buffalo Bills for 18 years.
Holy. That's like what, 2009 or 17?
17, yes. So they wouldn't make the playoffs again until 2017. I think at the time, it was the longest playoff drought in North American sports.
Dang.
So it was.
So like not even like close to like Super Bowls at all.
No, they were bad. The Bills were bad. The Bills were the laughing stock for a long, long time. They would put together a kind of decent team, but never ever good enough. So the Bills went from those 4 straight Super Bowls to we're trying to hold on to just we're done. We're not even gonna make the playoffs anymore. Buffalo Bills football. 1993, the 4th Super Bowl in a row that they lost. That is the last time the Bills have been to the Super Bowl. So they haven't experienced that success since then. Another extra that I would like to mention here. Remember Steve Tasker, the special teams ace for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
He would go to signings.
The loved guy.
The loved guy. He would go to signings in Buffalo, just team events or, after retiring and whatnot. And the kids had a funny joke for him. And it happened so many times that he knew what they were going to say before they said it. And they would say, like, you know what Bills stands for, right? BILLS. Well, Caleb, it stands for, boy, I love losing Super Bowls. A very profound remark from several kids and adults of the time.
He's like, screw all of you.
And history has not remembered these Bills kindly. Obviously, I'm talking about them losing.
Yes.
But if you ask those Buffalo Bills players, they would fire back on you and say, why are we being remembered as losers? We had to win so many games just to even make 4 straight Super Bowls. But you know what they say, Caleb? History is written by the victors. Something which the Buffalo Bills, and I feel your pain as a Vikings fan, have never been.
I say, like, statistically, 4 Super Bowls in a row is really, really good.
At least they got there, right?
Yeah.
They say, crying in their tears at night. Oh, Caleb.
Well, that was depressing. I was waiting for, like, and they finally did it. Nope, they never won.
Unfortunately, with sports, the feel-good stories don't always happen.
Sadness and despair.
Sadness and despair. All right, Caleb. That's my depressing topic. I hope you have something a little more lighthearted for us.
Well, Austin.
I was gonna before you start.
Yeah.
As I should as a good co-host. Did you have anything to add or anything you'd like to ask?
I did actually. So you say they're getting to that stage again now?
So yeah, we could talk just a little quip on current day Buffalo Bills. I said they had an 18-year playoff drought, correct?
Yeah.
Well,
it's not 2017.
Nope, not anymore. 16, 17.
By the way, I hate how many things are are like when you say something, it's like so many things are about 6 or 7 because that's such a typical time frame or amount of stuff. So it happens all the freaking time.
It's just like
it makes me so mad.
It's just a random like why would something happen 6 or 7 times? You know, like.
But it's the most common thing. Anyways, continue.
The Bills were going through change in their front office and on the coaching staff, and they hired Sean McDermott to be their head coach. He's a defensive guy. Excuse me. Hired Sean McDermott as their head coach. Their GM, they did not have one. He was fired and let go along with the other coach. So they had an interim GM. Well, Sean McDermott put together a pretty feisty bunch of Buffalo Bills football. And on the last day of the season, they had won their football game, but that win did not get them into the playoffs. They had to wait and watch because the Cincinnati Bengals were playing the Baltimore Ravens, and they needed the Ravens to lose. And the Bengals were not going anywhere. They were down by more than a field goal, and they completed a miracle touchdown play, a miracle catch and run to upset the Baltimore Ravens, knock the Baltimore Ravens out of the playoffs, and clinch a playoff spot for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
There's a very cool video of the locker room of the whole team going crazy because they had just snapped an 18-year drought.
Because of another team.
Because of another team. Hey, just win, baby. Just get in. I'm pretty sure they lost a playoff game, but that ensuing draft, Sean McDermott basically kind of led the reins and worked hand in hand with the interim GM. And it turned out to be a good draft, Caleb. They drafted a couple of guys, but the one that the people will know most about is Josh Allen, who is currently an MVP caliber quarterback. He has an MVP, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's kind of helped him and Sean McDermott have helped this resurgence of the Bills. They won quite a few AFC East titles in a row. They made a bunch of playoffs. They won a few playoff games. Could never, unfortunately, overcome the Kansas City Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. And just recently, Sean McDermott was actually fired because of this run of, you know how Marv Levy was fired because he got to the big one but couldn't win it? Well, Sean McDermott was fired because he couldn't even get to the big one. But Bills fans are pretty upset because the GM that fired him was the interim GM at the time. And Sean McDermott was like, hey, Bills ownership, this guy's really good GM, hire him. Him and I work really well together. And then fast forward, and that same GM basically blamed McDermott for not winning enough.
Ooh, so there's a lot of controversy right now.
Yeah.
And this is all recently too?
Yes.
Ooh.
Just within the last couple weeks. So, and Josh Allen is not happy about that, I know, but they hired their offensive coordinator to be their head coach, their new head coach. So I think that was done to keep Josh Allen happy.
Yeah.
But so yes, that is the current state of the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, very, very interesting. Maybe they'll make it sometime with Josh Allen.
I hope so.
I hear his name a lot.
I'm a big Josh Allen fan. It's hard guy to dislike.
I've seen a lot of videos of him talking. All right,
Caleb.
So Austin, how do you feel about war?
What is it good for? Absolutely not. Don't copyright strike us.
It's good for making a lot of money.
I believe that.
In the actual war sense.
I was just say, I isn't war the reason the U.S. got out of their Great Depression?
Pretty much. Pretty much. But there's something in the nerd culture that we call a console war.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
And now, for those of you who don't know, there's been a war brewing for about almost 5 decades now of a thing called the console wars.
Mm-hmm. Very heated debate.
Very, very heated debate. The console wars have been a long thing of basically all of what video games have been about lately. Or not lately, forever. Right now, the console wars, I think, are kind of, we have a winner.
I'd say so.
We have a winner. It's Sony with the PlayStation. They have dominated. But
By like a lot.
By an insane amount, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll learn here today how, if they did throughout the entire war or not.
Very interested. I know from what I know, it's always been back and forth.
Yeah. So before I start this, I do want to preface. I know there are an insane amount of more consoles that I will not be talking about. I am going to be talking about the big players of each quote unquote era of the stuff. So if I don't mention your favorite console or like the Gimbal Box 500, feel free to leave a comment.
Shout out to all of you.
I want to start off with probably the first, or kind of just like explain stuff. So these are the things that kind of consider in the console wars. A lot of like things that are deciding was the hardware and power, which, little fun fact, every home console you have is technically a computer.
Yeah.
It's got CPU, it's got a graphics card, it's got storage, it's got all that. It's just set to only do one thing, whereas a computer's supposed to do a bunch of different things. So we got to think about all that stuff. You got to think about like their exclusive games. What games can you only get on that console? The price, huge factor in the console war, as you'll see here. And it's like services, online services, and subscriptions as of late. So I also do want to state a typical generation for consoles lasts between 5 and 7 years. These are just fun facts before we get started. So you'll see most consoles 5-7 years, and you'll see a lot of differences in here and why things happened, and if they do all last 5 or 7 years. So
advancements in technology, perhaps.
Yes, exactly, and maybe desperation. So I want to start off the unofficial first start of the console wars with the Atari 2600. Came out in 1977.
Damn.
Now, these are the only ones that I've adjusted for today's money.
Okay.
Just so because. We have, yes. This can give you an idea. So 1977, we have the Intellivision, which came out in 1980. And then we have the ColecoVision. I think it's Coleco. I think I'm saying that right. ColecoVision in 1982. Now, the Atari 2600 debuted with a console price of $150 in 1977 prices. Adjusted for inflation today, that's about $540.
It's expensive.
It's about what a PlayStation and Xbox cost today.
Mm-hmm.
The Intellivision launched with a $300 price tag, which in today's money adjusted for inflation is about $1,080.
It better be worth it.
Exactly. And then I couldn't find an exact reference for the ColecoVision in 1982 because it was so short-lived, which I'll get to that. But people say there were different versions and ranges, so it was about $90 to $300. So I would say cheaper than the Atari or just as expensive as the Intellivision.
Right. On average, kind of somewhere.
Right in the middle. I'd say right in the middle. So, they have kind of these three, kind of the pros of each. So we have the Atari, which they had interchangeable game cartridges, which yes, everything uses cartridges right now. They were very, very third-party friendly, which to those who don't know, third-party is the company isn't owning the console to make games, so it'd be like I'll give you an example, like a Bethesda. Actually, no, they're first party now. That's a bad example. Wait, everything's bought by somebody now. What's it? Call of Duty was third party. Well, now it's first party too.
Well, I use an example.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do Call of Duty.
Before.
Yeah. Okay, Call of Duty, owned by Activision. Activision was its own company. Wasn't owned by anybody. It was Activision Blizzard actually recently. And they would license out their game, or they would basically purchase a license to be put on consoles. So, hey, Xbox, PlayStation, I want to put my games on your platform. I will give you money to put my game on your platform.
And they have to do that for every game they make?
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
Activision, a big company like that, they're probably going to have a deal with Xbox and PlayStation of, hey, we'll give you this amount of money. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes the companies,
like, we want you.
Yes, exactly. They'll be like, hey, like I think for Bethesda, it was Xbox really wanted them on the consoles, so they had to like pay them, and I think PlayStation as well. But yeah, it could go either way. Typically, if you're a smaller studio, you pay the license, but
right,
because you gotta earn it. But yeah, and then the Intellivision, super edgy, by the way, geared towards a more mature audience.
Okay.
Super expensive, but it was extremely powerful compared to the Atari. The Atari, I imagine the Atari is like the cheap version, but it's got a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
The Intellivision's like, hey, you want to be the high end gamer, bro, for the 1980s? Here you go. This is for you.
I can just imagine the type of character that would own one of these.
Exactly. You had to be pretty hardcore to like own a Intellivision.
Uh-huh.
And then the ColecoVision, they had what we consider at the time the best system in terms of hardware wise, but it came out in 1982. And if you didn't know, there was something called the video game crash of 1983.
I did not know that.
So when video games started getting popularized, it's kind of, you know what a bubble is?
Yeah.
We're in an AI bubble right now,
Yeah.
a lot of people say, where, hey, there's all this money flooding in, but there's not a whole lot of things holding up that bubble. Or there's not a whole lot of like actual products. You're just investing in ideas.
Right.
And eventually it'll come to a head where, hey, about maybe 10% of this is actually like investable, and the rest is complete garbage. So exactly, pop, and all that money gets taken out, and the people who are still left standing are the ones that actually have something worth it.
Boom! Now you can't buy a home. Screw you.
Exactly. There is an AI bubble right now, and it will pop. Little finance stuff for you there. So we would say Atari won this era, though, based on just the availability, the pricing, and just like the overall content.
Was there? Maybe you said it and I just missed it. Was there more games available on the Atari?
Yes. So the Intellivision and ColecoVision had more strict rules.
Mm-hmm.
Atari would basically be like almost allowed. Literally, if you wanted to make a game for Atari, you'd make it. But you have to remember too, making games was a lot harder.
Yeah.
Like a lot harder. Like, 'cause it were cartridges first of all.
Mm-hmm.
You had to. There wasn't a whole lot of programming that was available. People didn't know how to do that, and also we're in the early stages, so a lot of the programming was like, why are you using this for video games? Why aren't you using this for like making
Mm-hmm.
other things? Like basically anything besides
Right.
a video game. So I just want to jump over this real quick. Late 80s, there is no console war.
It's just all.
It's all Nintendo, baby.
Uh-huh.
Nintendo releases the NES. I can't believe I didn't write it down. I didn't write the year down. NES, late 80s. Nintendo NES stands for Nintendo Entertainment System. Goes for a price of $200. Still pretty spendy for this time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very, very high quality product. And actually, Nintendo had a seal of quality with all of its publishers. So Nintendo had to like verify and personally like publish them. Not personally, like they had to like go through and quality control every single game that they released on the NES.
Interesting.
Because that's how we want these games to be good.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want them to be sucky. We want every game you get on an NES to be a masterpiece, essentially.
If we're gonna make the people pay for it, they're gonna get the good stuff.
Exactly. And actually, they had per publisher, a 5 games max per year, per publisher.
Okay.
So publisher, Activision owns Treyarch, and they own Infinity Ward. So Activision's the publisher. Activision and Infinity Ward, this is for Call of Duty, are the developers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, and then Activision has a ton of other studios. So let's say, hey, we want 2 Call of Duty games to come out, but we also want to release this sports game and like these 5 other games. You have to pick one. You can't. You have to pick 5.
Uh-huh.
You can't release more than 5. So Nintendo's like, hey, you got to make some quality games. Then you got to.
Right.
You can't be putting out slop,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. And the reason why I only put Nintendo here, Nintendo at this time owned 90% of the video game market.
Ah.
So it's like there's nobody even else to talk about.
Right.
Until a little company known as Sega starts gaining some traction. And they kill it with the Sega Genesis in 1989. Marketed for $200. Sorry. The NES came out. I do know this off the top of my head, actually, now that I wrote that down. It came out in 1986.
Okay.
So a few years. 1984. Yeah, 1984. Okay. Sorry. One of those 2 years, between those two. Sega Genesis. $200, 1989. Better in every way to the NES. Also, NES is like a 4-year-old, at least 4-year-old console at this point. Still, Genesis is insane. But Sega has more of an emphasis on their teens and younger adults thing, where Nintendo has always been more of a family, kiddie kind of. There's some old, like, geared towards older crowds, but mainly family kid company at this time. They went for more of the teens and young adult market, as it is becoming more popular to play video games as a teen and a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to include this here. One of their most famous quotes was, "Genesis does what Nintendo don't."
That's right in the same line as boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Just coming out with heaters, baby.
not important. I just wanted to include that. Do you know though? I do want to ask you this. Who Sega's most famous character is? We have Nintendo with Mario.
Mm-hmm. Has there been a crossover between these two characters at all?
Many.
Is it Sonic?
It is Sonic.
Okay.
So I will preface this. I'll get to this in a second. Yeah, Sonic is. When we did the episode of all the video game characters,
Yeah.
I had my 2 wild cards in there, and Sonic was one of them because Sonic was he is insanely popular because most popular video game characters are owned by a company like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, something like that. Sonic is also technically a console character first, or owned by a company that made consoles, but Sega unfortunately, Sega doesn't make consoles anymore.
Right.
So, but Sega is still around. Nintendo says, "Hey, all right, we see what you're doing here." So in 1991, I think it is. Yeah, I don't know why. I just didn't write down the years for Nintendo, apparently. I don't know why. Nintendo claps back. Oh, Sonic debuted in 1991. But Nintendo also clapped back that year with the SNES.
The Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo Entertainment System for $200. This is, by and large, better than the Sega Genesis. Again, 2 years after, so it's like, you'd hope it'd be better than the Sega Genesis.
If I can let my own ADHD and my own brain wander, this whole late 80s, early 90s console talk reminds me of a Biggie Smalls song. There's
what Biggie Smalls song?
Oh shoot, I think it's Juicy. I think you've probably heard that one before.
I probably have.
I think it's Juicy, but the very first line of the third verse of the song, which is my personal favorite verse of the song, shout out to all my hip hop heads out there, is Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, boy, I couldn't picture this.
That is bars. I do like that actually. It goes kind of hard.
Sorry, that's just what. As soon as you said Sega Genesis, that was the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, I wonder. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I enjoyed that. Sega would end up shooting themselves in the foot. This kind of era, they would say, "Hey, all right, Nintendo, how about this?" and release 4 consoles within 10 years. Remember I said a console generation lasts between 5 and 7 years. They went, "No, we're releasing all these." So it was one after the other, and not all games were compatible with the other consoles. It was a big mess, and Nintendo ultimately took the crown. Sega is relayed to a video game company that loves Sonic.
Hey, if that's the moneymaker.
And Sonic to this day is still a moneymaker. So Sega took the right direction. A lot. I will say, I forgot to mention, I had to write this down, but a lot of companies at this time were making consoles as well.
And
a lot of them aren't around anymore or were bought out by other companies because they spent so much making consoles. Sega kind of realized, hey, this isn't working. And so they got out of the console game and just became a publisher instead. And they made the right choice.
That in the business world is called a pivot.
Yes. Yeah. And so, yeah. And they actually, I mean, most Sonic games are on Nintendo systems now. So they became partners instead of
right.
Babies. Like you said, Sonic and Mario have a lot of collabs together.
I mean, they're still making money and they're still making something, right? So good for them.
So we get to the Sony saga.
The Sony saga.
So I didn't realize the PlayStation was this old, but you know the original PlayStation released in 1994?
I would have guessed late 90s. I never would have guessed early 90s.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. For a price tag of $300. Oh, I should say, every price point I give, take off a penny.
Yeah,
it's actually
$299.99,
whatever.
Well, hey, like, what is it? Marketing, like sociology or whatever. You see that $299? Whoo! Ooh.
Yeah.
That ain't 300. That's
Yeah,
200.
Exactly. It's like, wow.
Right.
No. But this would be the biggest console and the first biggest console to transfer into CDs instead of cartridges. So everything was using cartridges at this time.
Mm-hmm.
CDs super cheap, you know, can hold a lot of data still.
Kind of the thing of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're new,
Mm-hmm.
they're cool. And again, they were super cheap. So games were sold for way cheaper than cartridges. They didn't have this big blocky thing. It was just a little like, oh, I don't even know what they're made of, like silver or something.
Whatever they're made of.
Yeah, whatever they're made of, they're not silver. Silver would be so expensive. So they're just these discs though.
Plastic. I don't freaking know.
And you remember the Atari,
Yeah.
who had insane third-party support.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation saw that, Sony saw that, and they're like, hey, that's going to be our strategy too. And they basically, if you want to make a game for the PlayStation, you can make a game for the PlayStation. They're not going to discriminate.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a lot of M-rated games too, because they did not care. A lot of crappy games, but a lot of games,
Right.
which for a lot of people, especially at the time, that was the most important thing of quantity over quality.
Right.
Of, hey, I can buy this game and I can have this game. Whereas Nintendo's like, hey, these are more expensive games, but they're higher quality. But at the time, that wasn't the case. But Nintendo, they're still here to stay. You know, they came out with the Nintendo 64, which we talked about in the Mario episode, released with Super Mario 64 in 1996. One of the first, like, actually, like, 3D games, and one of the best 3D games ever. Like, kind of paved the way, and this was priced at a $200 price point. But Sony and Nintendo had different target markets.
Mm-hmm.
They had different audiences, and so they weren't. While they were competing with each other, there wasn't a whole lot of overlap in their competing. Then we still have the Sega in this era, technically, with the Sega Saturn and the Sega Dreamcast. The Dreamcast would be the last console that Sega makes. They're not important from this point on. But Sony would put themselves as a big player in the console market, as we know now. And this was their first endeavor, and they are here to stay. Now, it's funny enough to say, Sony at this time wasn't known for making video games. They were known for making a lot of different technologies, like TVs and like speakers and stuff like that. Just a lot of different stuff. Like, hey, we're gonna jump into. Oh, sorry. We're gonna jump into the video game market, and they prove themselves, and they're here to stay. Much like another company.
And who might that be, Caleb?
Well, this is the start of the modern era of video games. This is kind of what we know now. These companies. Mr. Bill Gates.
Heard of him? Yes, I have.
Oh, I should also say, before we get started on this, every big console company here, all based in Japan.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that at first, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Atari is. We have Sega, Japan, Nintendo, and Sony, all Japanese companies. Microsoft takes a look. Mr. Bill Gates, he goes, I want some of that pie. And we're an American company, and we don't have much foothold in the American market.
Mm-hmm.
When America is the biggest video game market in the world, and there's not an American company having a huge console. So, in 2001, they release the Xbox, which debuts with, can you guess the game? One of the biggest video game franchises of all time. I'd say the biggest M-rated franchise of all time. Console-owned M-rated franchise of all time.
Yeah, is it Halo?
It is Halo.
Okay.
They debut with Halo, Mr. Master Chief himself. And the Xbox. Now, Sony is a like TV and speaker like company. Microsoft is a computer company.
Right.
So you know they come swinging in with just insane hardware. The PS2 also released in 2000. Xbox released in 2001. The PS2 released at a $300 price tag. Same with the Xbox, the $300 price tag. But the difference between those two, Xbox was winning everywhere in hardware. Hardware they just demolished, and they came out with Xbox Live in 2002.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yes, exactly. Like there was no online gaming really before this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have, these would be considered the big three now: Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Nintendo's here to stay. You'll kind of notice from this point on, Nintendo is technically in a console war, but they're like the third person. They're always doing good.
I just feel like Nintendo knows who they are, and they, like, yes, it's a console war, so they're competing with Microsoft and Sony, but they kind of have a different part of the market. Like
Exactly. They are very much, if you are a parent of a child and you see these three consoles of any generation and you have no knowledge, you just like, I need like, you have very base knowledge of these. Nintendo's usually cheaper, more family friendly games, easier controls.
You can have a lot of fun with Nintendo.
Exactly. And so you're going to pick Nintendo. And Nintendo is they're a juggernaut in video game industry. But they're the only of the big three that are exclusively a video game console company. Like Microsoft and Sony, they do a whole lot of other stuff too. Nintendo's the only one that's exclusive to video games.
You think? I guess I probably know it. I'm guessing Mario has a lot to do with them just sticking around.
Mario, Zelda, all their other franchises, Pokemon, like they got in so early and built such like a beloved like fan base too. I think you'll see here, I'll talk about it in a second. Like fan bases are huge as well. And that's kind of why I think they have the most staying power is Pokemon games have been going on forever.
What they do is like timeless in a sense.
Exactly. There's like over like 30 Zelda games, over 50 Mario games, a ton of Pokemon games. There's Pokemon trading cards. Nintendo is also a trading card game.
Yeah.
But like they're mainly video games.
Right.
And there's like all these franchises. Like you go to Japan, there's like you have a hard part like in Tokyo, like running into something that's not Nintendo related, like on a street corner. GameCube. Also, they switched over to discs finally. Debuted at a $200 mark or $199. But PlayStation, they have the fans, they win, and this record, I don't know, I forgot to check. I think it's still not broken, with PlayStation 2 selling the most consoles of all time at 155 million units.
It's a big number.
It's insane. When you think about it, there's like 300 million people in America. There's a lot less households than that.
Right.
There's probably like about 150 million households at most.
Is that units sold in America or is that worldwide?
Worldwide.
Okay.
Well, it still is. It's still very impressive.
I know. Just as far as like trying to digest how much that actually is.
I don't think this has been beaten since.
I can understand why.
But if you're not, Xbox, they gained a lot of fans, a lot of the mature audience, and a lot of the people are like, hey, the Xbox is really good, guys.
Right.
Now we have the HD era.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is when, I played PS2 games. I feel like you have for Xbox games. This is when I think me and you both had our own consoles. This era. We're at the Xbox 360 and the PS3 and the Wii.
Shout out to Wii.
Yes, shout out the Wii. I will talk about the Wii in a little bit here. So, the Xbox 360. 2005 debuts for a price of $400.
Getting expensive.
They're getting expensive. But Sony's like, we're not only going to be late and release ours in 2006, we're also going to be $100 more expensive than you at a $500 price range.
That'll go well with the people.
It did not. A lot of people say if there's any generation that Sony lost against Xbox to, it is this generation right here. Xbox came out with better online, better hardware despite being a year earlier, and $100 cheaper.
Right.
When typically Xbox and PlayStation, you'd put them in the same boat of there's going to be some exclusives, but you're going to get the same, most of the same, like 99% of the same games are going to be, if it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation and vice versa.
Right. And
so the only thing that Sony really had for this era was their exclusives, which were considered better than Xboxes at the time. And I think still PlayStation did sell slightly better than Xbox.
Okay.
But that was just the fan base wise. I mean, Xbox, they established that a lot of people would say that was the better console. And I would have to agree. Just for the online aspect alone.
PS3 had some major online problems.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad. But there's one more player. And that's Nintendo again with the Wii. 2006. Releasing at a price point of $250. We have the PlayStation 3 at $500. We have the Wii at $250. Can you guess which console sold the most this generation?
I mean, just knowing from my own experience, everybody had a Wii.
Everybody had. I have a Wii downstairs. The Wii gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii is probably the most, I would say the most popular console of all time. You literally did not know, you didn't not know somebody who had a Wii.
It was such a unique experience. It was different. It's the same thing, but it was different.
Exactly. It was like the motion controls. Now you couldn't play all like the games the same way.
No.
Like there wasn't the controller. It was motion control.
Right.
But it worked in Nintendo's favor because they captured a completely different part of the market.
Mm-hmm.
Like your grandma would go and play a Wii. Like
I was gonna say, it goes back to the whole like Nintendo's family friendly.
my grandparents had a Wii for themselves. Like it was that big. The Wii sold over 100 million units. Still not as much as the PlayStation 2, which is so crazy. The PlayStation 2 sold that much,
right,
for that price point too. Because remember, it was $50 more than the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
But it went crazy. So we'd say Wii won, but they were fighting a different part of the market.
Right.
But they're still considered in here.
Nintendo's smart, man. They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Like, we're gonna let Microsoft and Sony go do all that. Everybody else will be right here.
Exactly. So now we get to the modern era. This is the last generation, not this generation, the last generation, because I will discuss the last generation. We have the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and I was going to include the Wii U in here. Decided not to do that. Instead, we're going to go with the Nintendo Switch because I feel like that's more of a representation of Nintendo's console this generation.
See, I kind of remember the Wii U, but until you brought it up, I forgot that it was a thing.
That's why I didn't want to bring it up, because the Wii U, it did not sell well at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was very laughed upon. It was kind of like, it kind of harkens back to what Sega did, like releasing a console like, crap, this thing sucks. Then they released the Switch. Luckily, the Switch did well for them.
Right.
But we have PS4 2013, Xbox One 2013. They're released in the same year, almost the same day.
which I think was on purpose. Yeah. Oh, was that it? I'm curious. You think was that like agreed upon? Like, hey, we got our stuff, you got your stuff. We'll just do this together. And
I don't know if it was like actually agreed upon, but I think they both kind of realized it's like whoever releases first is gonna have more of the controversy
yeah.
that goes with it, or like I'm gonna wait till the PlayStation and see which one people say is better. Then they don't get those initial sales, so they release close to each other. It's like you kind of
make a decision.
Yes, exactly. It's like they already know like the people who like Xbox are gonna pick Xbox. People who like PlayStation are gonna like PlayStation. So if they're trying to fight for who can release first or who could release second, it's not gonna go well for them. So they're just like release around the same time. But Sony learned. They dropped the price. Now we're going to $399 versus Xbox One's $499, but with the Kinect.
Yeah, which is not worth an extra $100.
The Kinect was not. And this, if you remember, PlayStation, they realized, hey, we kind of lost a lot of faith in people with the PS3. So we're gonna be, hey, backwards compatible, game sharing. We're like, hey, it's just the PS3, but it's better and it's not priced outrageously compared to our competitors. Microsoft, on the other hand, but hey, how could we get all of the gaming community to hate us at once? Higher price, emphasis on a Switch or on the Kinect, which, mind you, did not work very well.
No.
You had to be online all the time if you could. No game sharing, no backwards compatibility. If you bought a game, that was your game coded and you could not give it to your friend, which at this time, now everybody buys digital. At the time, discs. If you were done with a game, you'd give it to your friend.
Right.
And then you'd trade games. Like I remember like trading games and like, hey, I want this, or I've done with this, you play this and I'll play that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Xbox like, no. That game is coded into it, and if you try to put another console, it'll explode. not actually, but I think the biggest egregion for this was, which we've seen a lot of greed in this world lately.
Yeah.
This is still up there with the absolute one of the greediest things I've had. If you have a Kinect and you want to watch a movie, they said, it would charge for each person in the room that the Kinect viewed. Who thought that was a good idea? We will never know, I don't think. But that is one of the greediest, insane things that you could market your console for and think people would want to buy it.
Well, you just said it's corporate greed. They're trying to get as much money as possible.
Exactly. And it's like I don't know how they ever thought all this would go over well when Sony is saying it's a video game console. There is the funniest video ever. We have I cannot remember their names, but the CEO of Nintendo and the CEO of Sony, after hearing this, made a video together where they went, this is how you trade games, and they took a case of one of the games and just handed it to the other CEO, and they went, thanks. That's how you trade games on both their consoles,
right?
Versus Xbox being like, well, you have to do this or that and that. It's like, and it's like Xbox, they really, really shot themselves in the foot,
right?
Because this is the era which everyone would say is the most important era for every console, because this is when everybody's building their digital library.
Yeah.
So this is kind of towards the end of this generation. You didn't really buy games physical anymore.
Right.
It was almost exclusively online digital. And you're not going to, like, I switched from the Xbox One to the PlayStation 4, and I built my library on the PlayStation 4. I am never going to buy an Xbox because all my games I have are on PlayStation, and they're usually all going to be backwards compatible, like the PS4 to the PS5. I play a lot of PS4 games still. I'm sure you do too.
Mm-hmm.
And if those can't transfer over to the other console, to like the Xbox, you have way less of an incentive to buy an Xbox if you already have all your games on your PlayStation, or vice versa.
Buying a new console meant buying all the games or newer games. So it's an expensive hobby, but they've essentially like taken that out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it, anyways. You're still always going to buy the latest and greatest or the updated version, but yeah, having again, same boat. I mean, I remember having I think it was an Xbox One for like a couple weeks, and I was like, I don't like nothing against it. I just like I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, sorry, it was I apologize. It was a Series X.
Mm.
I remember having that, and I'm like, this is a cool console, and I could play the games, but I miss having all my other games.
Exactly, and so you're only running on your exclusives now, which at the time too, I'd say everybody would say this still. Sony has always had the better exclusives. So not only are you won the online HD era, but you also have no incentive, or you've won the incentive of, we have God of War, we have Last of Us, we have Uncharted, we have Ratchet and Clank, we have what are some other ones? Like,
name the ones that I know.
Yeah, like you have all these insane, like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, I love Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, like there's not a whole lot of incentive when Xbox has Halo, and they have Tomb Raider,
which both admittedly pretty cool games.
Exactly, but you're not with Halo. Halo was already on a downtrend.
Yeah,
and Tomb Raider was rebooting.
Mm-hmm.
You have Gears of War, but you had downtrend on that as well. Like, all their exclusives that were popular were on the downtrend, and whereas you have the release of God of War, which insane.
I have a thought on this.
Yeah,
because you named all the PlayStation exclusives, and we named some of the Xbox exclusives that used to be popular. If you know, like Halo, Gears of War in particular, they're like the same thing as Call of Duty, and Call of Duty was the shooter that got uber mega popular. So now it's like, why?
And Call of Duty's on both platforms.
Right.
They're not like, you don't have the incentive to, which I'll get to in a second here. You don't have the incentive to buy an Xbox because Call of Duty is going to be on both,
which sucks because Halo's fun, Gears of War is fun, but the player base just isn't there.
Exactly. It's really that fact of, you really shot yourself in the foot by doing all this, and then, because I would say if Xbox One would have been the Xbox 360 but better, I think they would have been the ultimate winner of this like generation of consoles,
because they would have just built on the goodwill that they had.
Exactly, and they already had better online than PlayStation. I would still say Xbox to this day has better online. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's everybody. It's the PlayStation was cheaper, better exclusives, better library, more user friendly in a lot of terms, and so they won out.
Oh yeah, the home screen for PlayStation is so much better.
So
much more intuitive.
Seriously, which again, I think it's just like a lot of stuff of, Xbox has trophies too. PlayStation got achievements. Yeah. So like everything that they had over Sony did. So it was, why are you doing all this anti-consumer stuff when you were still lagging behind even when your console was considered the better console? Then you have the Nintendo Switch, which $300 price point, play on TV or play on the go. Insane.
Genius idea.
Like, insane genius idea.
It's a better,
with motion controls too. The controllers have motion controls, and you can detach, and you only need 2 controllers to play 2-player game.
the Switch is just a better. It's a better DS, which was a better Game Boy.
Exactly. A lot of people would say it combined everything that has been great about all Nintendo consoles into one console, and it worked.
Yeah.
Uh,
Weird.
Yeah, like it was just like it was crazy. Like, and especially after like the Wii U was like, ooh, because the Wii U was kind of like the test pilot. But Nintendo Switch, if you guys don't have a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2, I highly recommend it. Nintendo right now is kind of a shitty company, like in terms of like their practices. I can't deny that the Switch and the Switch 2 are amazing consoles, though. Their
Mhm.
games are amazing. I can't deny that. I can put this away, but I have a little more things to discuss.
All right. Please continue. We're making good time.
Okay, good. Yeah, we are. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where we have the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5,
Mhm.
Nintendo Switch 2 just came out, and like the Nintendo Switch 1, or Nintendo's kind of their own thing, Sony has dominated, and Xbox has taken to a, they kind of realized, hey, we might have to go the Sega route. That is a literal option right now.
I'm just trying to think who would they even rely on to carry them? Because like you said,
PlayStation.
Well, no. Like Sega has Sonic,
Mm.
so there's that one cash cow. What does Microsoft do? Because do people care about Master Chief anymore?
Well, do you know?
I know people do. I'm just rhetorically.
Do you know in the past few years who Microsoft has bought?
I'm sure you've mentioned in one of our previous episodes, but I do not recall.
Xbox owns Call of Duty now.
Okay. Yeah, that rings a bell.
Xbox owns Bethesda now.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox owns Obsidian Entertainment now.
Okay. Yep.
They they basically taken the strategy of, hey, if we can't make good exclusives, we're just gonna buy everybody and make them exclusive. And that was the original plan. They were gonna do that with Call of Duty as well. They were gonna be like, hey, you can only get Call of Duty on an Xbox. You can only get Bethesda games on an Xbox. Blizzard with like World of Warcraft and stuff, like you can only play those on an Xbox or Windows PCs,
Mm-hmm.
as Microsoft does on Windows. But they've taken to that would have caused even more bad will
I was to
with
say
a lot of people.
that'd have been a really shitty business practice.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely horrible, which they did do with Bethesda. Starfield did release. Starfield, sorry to say, not my favorite Bethesda game.
You were so excited for that game too.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. I was deciding between buying a PC or an Xbox just to get it, and thank God I bought a PC. Thank God. But yeah, they've kind of taken the thing of like, well, we might just have to become a giant publisher for all these companies, like the head publisher over these small publishers. They're actually, I think the most recent thing they might do is, hey, instead of Xbox being a console, it's more of a app. So like the Xbox Game Pass and all that, it'd be like, hey, we could put that on PlayStation and you get all these Xbox games if you buy our subscription.
Right.
Or it's stuff like that, which is like they say they're gonna make one more console and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's tough because I from if it really gets that bad from a brand viability standpoint, if you have to pivot just to keep making money off of it, I understand that. I get it. Sega did it. It worked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would suck to lose a major player in the console because
That's the fear.
Because we've discussed Nintendo just kind of does its own thing. It's there and it's very, very relevant, but it doesn't really compete with the same crowd of people.
No, like Sony and Nintendo aren't competing in majority of the market.
Right.
Like you're the same person who buys a Switch might also buy a Xbox or PlayStation because the Switch has established itself as a. Oh, I'll also say Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. all the other franchises, Nintendo doesn't give those out to other consoles.
Right, exactly.
That is their babies. You can only play them on Nintendo consoles.
Which is smart. That's why
And they are so popular. Mario's the most popular video game character in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon, the biggest brand in the world. Zelda, huge. Dude,
Right.
there's a movie coming out, so they're pretty big. It's like you can only play these on Nintendo, so you have to buy a Nintendo system. So these gigantic franchises, you're gonna buy it for them. People like God of War, it'll eventually come out on PC if need be,
Mm-hmm.
not Nintendo games.
Right.
So they've captured kind of that perfect, like, this is a cheaper console with cheaper games. As Nintendo games, or I guess Switch 2 is $70 now, but a lot of the games were $50. They've kind of captured that exclusivity and
Mm-hmm.
family market still to this day.
Right.
Whereas Sony and Xbox have more been going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And to lose Xbox would mean that Sony doesn't have to compete with anybody.
Exactly. That's the big fear.
And if you know anything about capitalism, the idea is that competition creates innovation.
Right.
And if there's no innovation or no competition, there's going to be no innovation.
So if Microsoft's like, no consoles anymore, Sony can come out and say, oh, we're still going to do the best by the consumer. We're going to put all this effort into a new console. Maybe that's right initially, but human nature, once you gain that comfortability, is to just subside. And, you know, if there's no reason to improve, then why should you improve? You know?
I know we're going a little long. My final point. This is where I think that PC gaming is on the rise because of this.
Mm-hmm.
PCs are the answer to no competition in the console wars. Because think of them as the television. If PlayStation is the Atari, PCs are going to be the television. They are way more expensive, but God, they run way better.
Mm-hmm.
Free. They're free online. No game you have to pay for. No online. Any game on the PC, you boot up and go right away. Typically games are cheaper. You have Steam and Epic Game Store, which have tons of deals all the time, and Steam is the only monopoly that's actually a good monopoly. Like, seriously. Like, you have all this stuff, and I think there is a rise in PC gaming. I don't think we'll stop seeing that.
Yeah, I doubt it. I could see it. It'll keep going, I would imagine.
Mm.
I mean, we're only seeing more and more streamers and content creators. I can only imagine that means PC gaming, as long as the PC is relevant, which it's not going anywhere, they'll find a way.
And this comes to my point of this, which, Austin, I know you've been thinking about getting a PC for a long time.
Yeah.
I think you should jump the gun and get it.
That's so expensive, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my little history on kind of the console wars and kind of a little discussion on the end there.
It's very interesting. And yes, we are past time. Real quick, though, just because we're talking about console wars, what was your console path, Caleb?
My console path. So, ones that I, like my parents or me, were like, here you go. Here's the console. So, I had an Xbox 360. Oh, no. I had a DS.
Okay.
A DS.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had an Xbox 360. And then I had a PSP for some reason.
Dude, yeah, that's a blast from the past. The
Yeah.
PSP ahead of its
Actually,
time.
It's basically what the Nintendo Switch is right now. Actually, kidding. No, sorry. I had a Game Boy.
Yeah.
And then I had a 360. No, DS. Then 360. Then PSP. And then I got a laptop, which I would consider which I would play a little bit of games on there, but it wasn't very powerful. And then I would get my Xbox One. All my friends had PlayStation, so I transferred over to PS4. So I had two consoles of one generation. and then PS4, and then I would get I would buy my first gaming PC. That thing is sitting right over here. Compared to that thing now, which we're recording on right now, game changer by the way. Then I would I remember I was like, when did it come out? Like 2019.
The who's a what's a how's a?
The PS5.
Was that pre-COVID actually?
I think it was. I think it was either pre-COVID or just at COVID.
I don't know, because I didn't get my PS5 until late into it.
Oh yeah, I remember it was 2020. I remember I'm sitting there at work.
Yep, because there's a shortage on
There
it.
was a shortage, and I remember my boss at where I worked at the time. He let me, because he's like maybe like a few years older than me. No, he's a decent years older than me, but he was still like, I was like 20, so he's like 26 or something like that. He goes, no, sit in the office and try to get this if you're loading. So I'm sitting there trying to buy this PlayStation 5. There are customers, whatever. I'm like sitting there like, I got it. I got it. And I went and picked it up at Best Buy. No, that had to have been, no, it's probably 2020. 2020, yeah, 2020.
2020.
What was your console path? Oh, I got a gaming PC.
Yes.
And a Switch.
Correct. So my older brother had a PlayStation 2, and I loved playing video games with him so much that my dad eventually caved in and got me a PlayStation 2.
Oh, so you were that older generation then.
So I played a lot of PlayStation 2. A lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Guitar Hero, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good stuff on the old PS2. Didn't care. I was very young, so I didn't care about online. Just whatever games I got, I played. Then I got to the 360 again because my older brother had an Xbox 360, and I played that a lot. So I wanted one of my own. So I got the Xbox 360. My older brother had a PSP. I never understood the PSP at the time.
It was really good. And I just gotta say, Star Wars Force Unleashed, the best version, some reason on the PSP. Some reason. It was so good.
Ahead of its time. It was meant to be, unfortunately. Love the 360. Great experience. Wish I'd go back. And then I remember, because this is right around the time where I became aware of the console wars and I could start thinking for myself and what I wanted. You know, Xbox One, PS4. Most of our friends went PlayStation. So I remember our buddy Mike saying, like, you got to go PlayStation 4. Trust me. I was like, okay, whatever. Great decision, Mike. Shout out. Because I had that PS4. I don't remember when I got. I had it for almost a decade, Caleb. That thing was on its last legs.
I remember when I first started dating my girlfriend, I gave her my PS4 to play Fortnite with me.
Dude, you talked about it earlier in your discussion. That's why I didn't get a PS5 for a long time, because I could still play with all my friends that had PS5, and they could play with me. You could be in parties with them. You couldn't do that with 360 and the Xbox One. But I eventually got the PS5 like 2024-ish, I think, which was, God, it was so long overdue. But I still love that thing. I don't play it as much as I used to, but yeah. So that's my path. And then who knows, maybe the gaming PC soon. I really want a PC, but
I mean, hey, I'd help. They're actually not as expensive. Mine's just really expensive because I went all out. But.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. That is a decision for adult Austin to make eventually here. But Caleb,
we are at time.
We are definitely at time.
A little past that. This is a lot longer than I thought it'd be. I thought mine was gonna last like 30 minutes.
Well, hey, good discussion.
Yeah.
Good discussion. I really enjoyed. There's some consoles in there that I had no idea existed. There's one of the very first ones you talked about I'd never heard of before in my life.
The Telecom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even heard about that one either.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very interesting. It's interesting to know how long this current war between Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony has been going on for the better part of like 25, 30 years.
At least, yeah. like it's at least between Nintendo and Sony too. And then Xbox joins in. It's kind of weird to think that Xbox is the only one that's like actually American too.
Right.
Everything else is Japanese.
Mm-hmm. is very interesting to think about. Hopefully Microsoft gets their poop in a group. Not that I'm gonna buy an Xbox console, like you said. That there's no reason for me to really.
I will say Halo is coming to PlayStation.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Halo is coming to PlayStation.
I was never a big Halo guy, but I know all of our PlayStation friends that are Halo people.
I
really
loved
excited.
Halo Reach. So
Yeah.
well,
alrighty. I suppose we can wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to Balls and Blasters. I'm Caleb.
I'm Austin. This has been episode 21. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Hopefully we can say your podcast platform of choice eventually. Probably not. But
eventually, maybe, hopefully.
yeah.
Stick around to find out.
Yeah. All right. Well, goodbye.
Bye. Good to see ya.